So tribe friends and family, I am Priestess Jocelyn Rose, 144 Blue Rose Temple, and I wanted to come on here and say hello, give a little bit of a message for the year of 2025 as it is coming up, at least the calendar year. Now, we do have that Chinese New Year. It's going to be the year of the snake that is coming next year as well. This year was the year of the wood dragon, which brought upon elements. It was also the year of Saturn this year, which brought upon the elements of transformation, of discipline, of moving through restriction and limiting beliefs, clearing out karma, past lives, with other people, especially with that Libra South node of this year, etc. So it has been quite the year. So just whoever you are, wherever you are, thank you for being here. Truly, thank you for being here. Whether you've been here for 4 years, a big shout out to you. Thank you. As next year is our year 5, and I have chills as I say that. Year 5 next year on YouTube. So just thank you for growing with me. Thank you for walking home with me always. I did pull one card for this video, and of course it's sacred medicine. Sacred medicine over here, which that has been a focus this season, is what is your medicine? Now, in tropical astrology, it is Sagittarius season. The focus is authenticity. How do we own our truths in the midst of so many truths in the world and around us? And how can we still love, honor our authentic selves and love and honor the authentic selves in others without of us? However, Vedic astrology, so sidereal astrology, it is Scorpio season. We have a lot of Ophiuchus energy, which is that serpent energy. It's the medicine. 144 as soon as I say that, So when I do, I'm always going to talk about both astrologies. We see in the Western world, most people talk about tropical astrology. If we're going to just talk about what's more accurate, it is Vedic astrology. So if you don't know what Vedic astrology is, I encourage you to just maybe go check out your chart or just get an introduction on it. Again, both work, but the most accurate when it comes to where our stars and planet systems actually are is Vedic astrology. Right now, the sun is actually in Scorpio. It's not in Sagittarius, technically, but with that, Scorpio is also the shaman. And which we talked about that last season too, if you go by Western astrology. In general, right now, Spirit is asking us moving into 2025 to own our soul medicine, to own our soul gifts, and to own our authenticity. Okay, what I kept hearing, and there's been so many downloads, so I'm coming here to share some of the downloads I've received from 2025, and then just also, what does Spirit have for you right now, as we're approaching 2025. And really what that is, it's owning your authenticity, owning your soul gifts, and having the courage to use them, to express them in whatever way that is. Maybe it is something like starting a light working business, and sharing your soul gifts in that way, going into it full time, and truly what it always is embodiment. That's what matters before anything else, is embodiment, embodying your soul gifts, embodying your ancient wisdom, embodying the heart space and living from your heart and your soul. And if you've checked out my website, my saying is start living a soul aligned life, which it does take some work, in releasing what no longer serves us, trusting it. And let me tell you, right now in the collective, as we're approaching this year of 2025, there is a lot of releasing of what no longer serves us. We have a lot of dark mother rising. Right. And the dark mother, it's not the shadow sense of the negative sense. It is those deep, dark truths about ourselves in this world. Obviously, there's a lot of things going on in this world. And so with that, we have had to expand our capacity to both give and to receive. We have had to expand us, light workers as a collective, expanding our ability to hold space for the shadow in this world where so much is happening, especially with Pluto and Aquarius. We are being asked to transform, to innovate ourselves, our systems, right? But with that, everyone responds to it differently. There's so much happening all over the world. And so we've really been asked, to own the shadow, to integrate the shadow, to expand our ability to understand one another, to have compassion for one another, to see things from a higher level of awareness, rather than being in separation consciousness. I would say right now, one of the most bravest and most courageous acts that you can do as a new earth leader, as a light worker, as a chosen one, is to live your life soul aligned and from the heart space, which defies all systems. I have chills as I say that too. And so the year of 2025 is the year of the snake. It's the serpent energy. It's the year of 9 as well. And what's interesting is what came to mind is the enneagram, which we see this in different like occult teachings and things like that. But it has 9 points, and the 9 point is completion. So when we look at just that, we look at the numerology of the number 9, which is closing out cycles, starting a brand new cycle. We're going to see a lot of unions next year, 2025. So if we talk about just the snake and serpent energy, it is actually medicine. Over here, what is your soul medicine? And it's not just plant medicine. For those of you who have been watching me for some time, I am a medicine woman, and so while most of what I do is tarot, and I am an initiate of the Kemetic mystery, so I'm a high priestess of the temples of both Isis and Osiris, I'm also on my medicine journey, but with that, it doesn't have to be that plant medicine is your medicine. Your medicine is your voice, your singing, your art. One of our soul brothers is an artist, and I just remember seeing his art for the first time, and I'm like, bro, you have light language all over your art. And when people receive your art, it's this light language and this transmission that you're sending them. It could be Reiki, it could be your clairvoyance, your psychic gifts to see, maybe the shamanic realms, the other realms, mystical, galactic. What is your soul medicine? And also not putting yourself into a box or into a niche that you can be so many different things at once. You are a multidimensional being. So in the year of 2025, we're really going to be, focusing on those energies of service, sacred service, of authenticity, of life purpose, of sacred union, and of wealth, with Uranus and Taurus. I've been channeling this for 3 years now. And I think the first time I said it, it may have actually been on my other channel. Like 3 years ago, but the first time I saw this, as far as like the timelines and prophecies, is that this world is going to go through a big shift financially. And what is that ultimately doing? Everything that's happening in our world is to transform us. It is for us to rise in consciousness. If we can't necessarily change the reflection without of us, it forces us to shift our consciousness. And so that's really what it's doing. A lot of light workers, you're going to start seeing light workers, really own their soul gifts, really start coming out with their soul gifts. We see this now, in the media and social media, in movies now. There's just more spiritual information that's being put out there due to the new age of Aquarius, Pluto and Aquarius, the internet, which is a beautiful thing, so own your soul gifts. We are really being asked to co-create with God, with source, our higher timelines and materialize them. And that is a new earth leader. You are living your life from your soul, from your heart. You've created it from your soul and from your heart. And you shine your light for the rest of the others, the rest of the collective, to remember this within themselves and to do so as well. And things are changing also for me for the year of 2025. So if you are a new earth leader, a new earth midwife, a new earth steward or stewardess, if you are a high priest, high priestess, medicine man, medicine woman, sage, medium, whatever it is, and also don't put yourself into a box or into a niche, share all of your soul gifts and all of your soul expression. My focus is shifting, and I'm seeing a lot of other people's focus shifting as well, or maybe they're not necessarily changing their path, but definitely we go through cycles of transforming of what it is that we serve, serving what the medicine it is that the collective needs at this time, or that people need in the area that you're in the field or the path that you work in or on, and so for me, and this has been for years. So also for those of you who have been around for say the 4 to 5 years, it's no surprise that in 2025, I am going to be focusing just on the sacred feminine mysteries, on the mystery school. So we do have Blue Rose Mystery School, Blue Rose Temple, and that has been 6 years now in the making. Just a story of why my name, really quick, is 144 Blue Rose Temple. 144, of course, the 144,000. I was obsessed with the book of Revelations as a kid, where I was running around my church. I'm like, yeah, it's happening right now. Right now, it's happening. Blah, 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 blah. I remember saying that a little bit older, and this woman looking at me of like, what? But then it was something I said, and her face just completely shifted, And so the book of Revelations as a child, 144,000, always amazed me and really resonated with me. 144, as soon as I say that, In Hinduism, we see that when one has really connected with their supreme soul, the crown opens and 144,000 lotus petals are also open, So there's so much mysteries, even when it comes to the number 144. And then Blue Rose Temple. It was when my son was first born that it was Yeshua, so Jesus, which when it comes to the frequency of the blue rose, it is Christ. It is Yeshua. It is Mary Magdalene. It is Isis. It is Sarah La Kali. It is Aphrodite. It's a lot of the Venusian energy as well as the Christ energy. And so when my son was first born, Jesus, which his name is Yeshua, Yeshua came to me in like a dreamlike vision where I was like not fully asleep, and not fully up. And in each hand, there was a diamond and then there was a blue rose. And he said, this is what you're here to share this lifetime, the diamond and the blue rose. And then the diamond, so the diamond is a 10 to 12 dimensional frequency ray of light. It's a ray of light, the diamond ray. It heals on a cellular level. It's a very intelligent ray of light, and so the diamond stuff, even when I like wear diamonds, it's really not actually aesthetic. It's like actual diamond light that I am trying to convey, that message in different ways. And so I do work with the diamond ray of light for the past 6 years now. And I have been opening up, or I am going to open up the diamond temple. So there's a few different temples. If you go check out the website now, some of them are available. Some of them are only going to come out as of 2025, but there's just a few of them that you do have access to from December. So feel free to go check them out and save your spot. And then the blue rose. And so Yeshua, when my son was born 6 years ago, gave me the blue rose. And I was like, okay, what's the blue rose? I've heard of the red rose. I've heard of the pink rose, the white rose. And I would ask other rose priestesses. And not all of them knew what it was either. There was only 2 out of like the 10 that are like, oh, I've never heard of the blue rose. Go look it up, And then some of them knew that it had, everything to do with Yeshua, with Sarah La Kali, with Mary Magdalene. So those mysteries of Mary, of Yeshua, and Sarah. So those mysteries, as well as the planet Venus, And so they say that the blue rose originates from the planet Venus, and it grows on the dark side of the planet. So despite it growing in the dark, it's something very beautiful. So it's very Venusian in energy and in its frequency, encoded with just the planet Venus and just so much more, And so it was 6 years ago that I was handed the blue rose and the diamond, and Yeshua was just like, yeah, that's not exactly how it went, but kind of how it went, of like, yep, this is what you're going to share with the world this lifetime. And I'm like, okay. And it went through those 6 years of learning what this was, not having too much information on it. There's actually not too much information on the blue rose and on the diamond ray of light. You will find it out there. There is not pages and pages of that information, And so that's where the name just Blue Rose Temple does come from. It still originates, from the planets, from the galaxy rather systems of Sirius, all of those different things, the blue ray of light. my other family members were actually much more connected than I was, but I always had a very strong spiritual connection to the land. I would go to El Yunque, the rainforest, and like just it amazed me. It was so magical to me, and it always has been. But I was always connecting with Yukahu. Now I realize I was connecting with Yukahu. I was connecting with Atabé. You know, Puerto Rico has been through a lot. There's been a lot of colonization. There's a lot that still happens on that land. However, when we know the truth, ma'at, about the land of Borinquen, it has always been heaven on earth. Christopher Columbus described the Taínos as the most peaceful and loving tribe and people he's ever met. And that's written documents they found of Christopher Columbus. So it was always heaven on earth. It was always a heart portal. It's equally yoked and balanced when it comes to the masculine and feminine energies on that land, you know, and it's when we connect with that land with integrity, with devotion, and conscious intention, that land has so much to give us. Just stepping foot on that land, you know, and so I would go back and forth by myself for years, and I started to create a deeper and deeper connection with the land, with the ancestry of the land, just so much. Where to the point that I would just step foot on the land, and once I arrived, that land knew I was there and started taking whatever needed to be taken away, going into the earth. I would always go home a new person, 144, you know, and so I have been led to share the truths of this land, you know, of how sacred these lands actually are, and to give back, you know. I won't go deep into it, you know, but one thing I have seen in spirituality is, you know, sometimes people who hold retreats, who just go to these foreign lands, and I have seen people not respect the land, not respect the people, not respect the roots, the ancestry, and all of those different things, and are just going because like, oh, it's a very peaceful land, it has great energy, let's go make a bunch of money there and then leave, you know. And that's not what my intention is when it comes to me holding retreats. A portion is always going to go to Afro-Indigenous tribes and nonprofit organizations to help people both in Puerto Rico and the United States reconnect with their ancestral roots and original cultures and religions, as well as helping people on the island, you know. So whenever we go, we are always feeding the homeless. We're always feeding the stray cats and dogs. So yes, we do go there to hold retreats so that we as light workers can release what no longer serves us to the land, can come back home to ourselves, can gather, meet new people, soul tribe, and can go home a completely different person. But also every single time we do that, so we're gonna do some grid work and some light work into that land, but we're also going to give back physically to the land as well, because we are so thankful for what this land gives us, you know. And so that's my intention when it comes to Puerto Rico. Doing a lot of mission work as well, you know, beyond just the spiritual and the non. We're doing both, where there's activism as well as helping you and supporting you on your journey of just holding the space that you need for you to come home to yourself, experience a beautiful island, and go back home a different person. So we do have one retreat. It's open to both men and women. That's posted right now. We're going to have another retreat at the end of next year, December 2025. So just feel free to go check out the website. If you have any questions, feel free to reach out to me. We do have a few temple spaces as well. So we do have the Blue Rose Mystery School, which is going to open up for 2025 as well. There's a few temples that are already open, so feel free to join. There's some spaces that you can work one-on-one with me. There's other spaces where we are all going to gather as soul brothers, as soul sisters, as initiates, and open up our hearts to these higher codes, to higher wisdom. You are anointed with royal divinity. That's the message that just came, the random like spam that came on my phone. So you are anointed with royal divinity. You know, remember who you are. When it comes to the Blue Rose Mystery School, my intention, it's been 6 years of me making this. 6 years in lifetimes. So like 6 years, these human years, but lifetimes, you know, when it comes to the temple, just in general, ancient Kemetic wisdom and teachings really teaches us to embody what it is that we speak, that we preach, that we say, that we are, that we practice. And so the Blue Rose Mystery School is a space for you to remember who you are, to awaken your ancient wisdom, your ancient medicine, your ancient gifts within you, so that you can start living life as more heart and soul aligned of whatever that is for you. It's going to be different for everyone. There are some people who will be a full-on, full-time high priest or priestess or medicine man or woman this lifetime. There are other people that will, and I like to call it the modern day priestess, where, maybe you're not showing up in the ways that I do. You're a high priestess, at your 9 to 5. You're a high priestess in the hospital. You're a high priest, as a construction worker, like showing up as this medicine man or woman, as this high priest or priestess in everything that you do. And for those of you who do have a soul remembrance of being in the ancient Kemetic, ancient Egyptian temples, if your soul remembers being in the temples of Isis, of Osiris, feel free to join some of our more long-term temple spaces, as we're going to be doing ancient rituals. We're going to be going over ancient teachings that are not love and light and fluffy. We're going to be taking the path and walking the path, and so some of my temple spaces, we do have the Awakening Isis Within. That's 9 months, but because there's just no simple way to embodying Isis, you can't do that in a day. You can't do that in 4 weeks, and so I'm opening those more long-term temple spaces for those who remember walking the path. And again, it's not for everyone. So if you're soul aligned, I'm calling you in, that these spaces are available and that they're there. But if it's just in your heart and your soul, you remember being in the temples of Isis, the temples of Mary Magdalene, the temples of Osiris, and just so much more, feel free to check out some of the temple spaces that are up there. Again, not everything is up there right now. There's a few temple spaces, and the rest are going to be revealed in 2025. And there will be a Blue Rose Mystery School that everyone can join and access. That will be a monthly subscription, but you'll have access to a live group call once a month, as well as a community of other initiates, of other medicine men, women, shamans, high priests, high priestesses, that are also on the path, and that will be there to walk your hand home as well. So feel free to go check out the website to just see some of the newness that's already there. There's a lot of more newness that's coming as well for 2025. Again, I am going to be focusing more on the temples of Isis and Osiris. So for those of you who, again, are either seeking the healing from these spaces or who are actually ready to walk the path, we're going to have a few different retreats, a few different mystery schools as well that are going to be just for a few people. And then we have a larger Blue Rose Temple mystery school that is opening up for 2025 as well. Now, if you go to the website, I do have a 15-minute discovery call. It's free. So it's completely free for the 15-minute discovery call. This is for those of you who are interested in attending our retreats in Puerto Rico or are interested in one of our mystery schools or temple spaces. It's free 15 minutes to just see if this is soul aligned, to ask any questions that you may have. And there's also a temple form that you can fill out too. But feel free to email me, let's go home 7777, if you have any questions, or you could just go book on the website. So when it comes to just my own soul expression, I am an initiated Kemetic high priestess of the temples of Isis and Osiris. I'm also a medicine woman. I've been on my journey. My soul has been on this journey for some time. The story of my Isis awakening, that's a whole nother video, when it comes to everything in my journey, I didn't seek anything at all, so I did not have the spiritual awakening of oh, spirituality, that's cool. My spiritual awakening was, oh, what the heck is this ancient wisdom inside of me? Where is this coming from? What does this mean? And so my journey was kind of opposite, that I had very strong soul gifts. I had a whole lot of ancient wisdom that I had no clue what to do with. I had no clue where it was coming from. And that's when I finally realized oh, what is this? What's going on? The high priestesses, the shamans, I attracted them. And I mean, when it's God's will for you, when it is God's will for you, nothing can stop you. You know, I am a single mother, but at this time of, you know, and it was over time, many awakenings, but one of the biggest awakenings was like when I first gave birth, and single mom, living in a hotel, nothing. I had nothing. I was driving around that moving van because I didn't have anywhere to put my things. I just had to leave, you know, and I was homeless for, it was like a few years of houses. One of my houses burned down, you know, and so, but it was during that time, though, again, God will seclude you. God will seclude you when God needs to seclude you. I was separated from everyone. I had nothing. But that was when the shamans found me. That was when the high priestesses found me. You know, and I say find me because I didn't necessarily seek them out. It's like randomly coming across a social media page and not realizing that this was a soul-aligned connection. That was a soul-aligned high priestess she's actually Egyptian, that would change my entire life for years. The shaman that would change my entire life for years. And he did not charge me for the first 2 years. I didn't even know he charged people. I knew he traveled all over the world holding 300 to 500 ceremonies, you know. He didn't charge me. I know nothing, but at least from what I believe was that, you know, I didn't have a lot of money at the time. You know, I was a single mom. I had all of the odds against me. But when God is for you, who can be against you? And so despite having so many odds against me, God sent me people that would, were catalysts, that were mentors, that were teachers of mine, that would kickstart my journey, you know, and then that's when I would come across so much more. That's when things would shift, you know, financially and emotionally, mentally, spiritually. You know, I know that we come on here, all of us, all YouTubers, all spiritual light workers, you know, influencers and all that. And we just see the light in people, you know, but my journey was transmuting a whole lot of shadow into the light, you know, and recognizing, you know, when it feels like it's dark all around us, maybe it is because we truly are the light, and we are never separate from any light, no matter what's going on in our lives. We are the light, you know. And so it was the temples of Isis and Osiris. It was the spiritual path that awakened my consciousness, shifted my consciousness. Almost 10 years ago, I was diagnosed with incurable depression. No medicine could work for me. All of my 12th house placements, Chiron and Scorpio in the first house, and Pisces placements, 5 of them. I was diagnosed with incurable depression. I had depression from the age of 6 years old. And it was through plant medicine. I've been to 30 maybe different ceremonies. I've held 30 to 50 ceremonies, you know, so even like my shamanic path, my sacred medicine path, I've been to over 30 to 50 ceremonies. I've held 30 to 50 ceremonies. I've worked with shamans side by side, apprentice, you know, so and I still feel like I know nothing. I know nothing. I'm not experienced at all. I know nothing. There's infinite, I have the infinite symbol here. There's infinite ways to go. There are infinite more things to learn, to unlearn, to teach, all of these different things, you know. But with that, the plant medicine journey, and what truly was the temple of Isis and Osiris that helped to heal me. So why do I share these things? You know, what is your why? And that's another thing as a light worker. What is your why? Why do I share the temples? Why do I share plant medicine? Because it has created miracles for me. 10 years ago, I was in incurable depression. All of the freaking medicines you could think of, nothing would work. 3,000 milligrams a day of medication to nothing, to the point where depression is not on my HIPAA chart. It's not on my HIPAA chart at all. It's been taken off because I no longer display any symptoms. Trauma is in the body. We hold on to distortions, to karmic patterning in our DNA, ancestral, in our cells, in our bodies. And so that's what this represents here, the Trinity. It represents the number 777 and the mind, the body, the soul. You know, you could say the mother, father, the child, Father, Son, Holy Spirit. But when we heal, like we can heal from anything. And that's what God told me. It's funny, I have a tattoo in Arabic. This was before I knew anything about Egypt. This is now 10, 15 years ago. A tattoo in Arabic that says, God, heal me. Because I remember getting a vision from Spirit. Again, I was always in tune, raised Christian, didn't know about certain things. God told me, I'm going to heal you. I only gave you all of these things because I'm going to heal you. But you have to trust me, and it's love, light. Yes, God can heal us. And it's also us putting in the work. I did 20 shamanic ceremonies. I did, years in the temples of Isis and Osiris. And do you need to do all of that? No. If it's not your path, you don't have to. If it feels soul aligned, it's calling you. And ultimately it is really just a shift in our awareness. It's coming into the heart space, but why do I share these temple spaces? Why do I share plant medicine? Because it has changed my entire life. It has liberated me on a soul level. Jai Ma Kali, thank you, and so that's why I share certain things, because it's worked for me. I don't know if it will work for you. If it's soul aligned, it's going to keep calling you. And everyone, again, medicine, everyone has their own medicine. Everyone has their own medicine that works for them. I work more, so the spirit of tobacco runs in my ancestral lineage. I have priestesses in Puerto Rico that worked with tobacco, etc., from my lineage, and so a lot of the grounding medicines I work with. Maybe your medicine is music, maybe it's sound, maybe it's this, maybe it's that. What is your soul medicine? Of not only what you can offer to others, to the world, but also what's your soul medicine that works for you? What works for you is not going to be the same for another person, and it might just be the same. So honor that. Honor your soul medicine. And it's been a journey of me honoring mine and what works for me in the face of a lot of disapproval. But plant medicine has changed my life. The temples of Isis and Osiris, it's not cool and this and that. It has changed my life, and so just a big thank you. Usually do videos like this. I actually channel much easier than I can talk about anything else. And I don't know if it's the fact that I have a lot of Pisces in my chart. I don't like talking about myself. That's something I've had to work through. So if you're also someone who wants to share your soul gifts, that's something that I've had to work through, is I don't like talking about myself. And so for years, I've been on here for 5 years. People are like, when is that podcast coming out? This, and that. I'm just like, but we work through those blockages. We work through those different things, and maybe you don't feel like you have something to share, but maybe there is something beautiful that is meant to be expressed through you, through your embodiment, through your voice, through whatever way it is that you express yourself, and so there have been a few people asking me about the podcast. I have decided not to put it here, as YouTube has its boxes and matrix and wheels and things. And so I'm going to be putting it on the other YouTube channel. We are Infinite Souls. I will always post it here. So you'll have 3 ways to access it, whether it's that YouTube channel. I'm going to share it on here, or Spotify podcasts as well. So feel free to keep an eye out for that, as I do have an episode on some of the energies that we're experiencing and what to look forward to for 2025. So feel free to keep an eye out for that. Also, if you are on my email newsletter, it's completely free. If you're not, feel free to drop below a rose emoji and I will send you an email to join our email newsletter. I send out maybe 1 to 3 emails a week about current energies, different offerings, and just things like that. So feel free to join us. And just again, thank you for being here. Thank you for being on this journey with me. One thing as light workers is, yes, the world is transforming. Everything's transforming around us, and we're going to continuously transform, and we are meant to. Your medicine will continuously transform because, the times are changing. I had this talk with my big sister yesterday that the school systems 30 years ago are not what they are today. So teachers need to transform. We need to transform. Collective energy is always shifting and changing, and the ascension is very quick as well. So we are meant to reset. And right now, collectively, that's what we're all kind of feeling, is a reset as we prepare for the year of 2025. Okay, the year of the snake and the year of 9. That's what I have for you, Soul Tribe friends and family. Again, thank you for being here. I'm very thankful for your journey and everything it is that you have to share. Feel free to put in the comments below how you're feeling, how you're doing, maybe some goals or visions that you have for 2025. I pray and I hope that we do get together in any way, shape, or form it is that is soul aligned and as it is for the highest good of all sentient beings. I love you. You already know you got this. Keep going. Feel free to go to the website or to email me if you have any questions. And I believe we have one Pisces video today. We also have a channeled members video, and feel free to stay tuned for tomorrow. We're going to have another Pisces and all signs video. This is Blue Rose Temple Priestess Jocelyn Rose signing off. Whoever you are, wherever you are, I hope that you have a beautiful day, a beautiful morning, or a beautiful night. Much blessings and love to you.